In this video here, I went on record and said the new OLED switch, when it came out, would not be hackable, at least for a long time. So if you wanted to hack a switch, you'd need to buy one of the V1 switches or be prepared to wait a long time. A bunch of you in the comments below disagree with me, like these here. And well, you guys were right, I was wrong. I'll admit it. The OLED switch came out in October and it was hacked instantly, straight away, because the mod chips that worked for the V2 Marico switch also worked in the OLED switch. So yeah, got that one wrong. Now in my defense, I made that prediction back when the rumors for the new switch were that it was going to be completely redesigned, it was going to have a 4K display and better graphics, and well, we got those predictions wrong as well. So have Nintendo completely given up on getting rid of mod chips, of getting rid of people running homebrew on this console? I mean, the old mod chips that worked on the Marico Switch work on the new OLED Switch, so they have made no effort to get rid of the exploit. However, before we draw a line under this and say that the new OLED Switch is completely jailbreakable, we have to look at what Nintendo are doing behind the scenes to stop the exploit. Yes, now while Nintendo may not have removed the exploit from the Switch, what they did do was go after manufacturers and distributors to get rid of this mod chip altogether, to make it impossible to buy. The original mod chip for the Switch was manufactured by Team Executor. Released in early 2020, this mod chip was shrouded in controversy, in part because selling hacking devices for profit goes against the open source sharing ethos of the wider console hacking community. And in September 2020, Gary Bowser, a face for Team Executor, was arrested for designing and selling circumvention devices for the Nintendo Switch. He was named in a federal indictment which was filed in August 2020, and 2 months later, he pled guilty, paying a $4.5 million fine and agreeing to help the American judicial system crank down on Team Executor and stop them being able to distribute the mod chips that had been so successful in cracking open the Nintendo Switch. Now, as you might expect, the group of individuals behind Team Executor are all lying low at the moment, trying to stay off of Nintendo's suing radar, and Nintendo are issuing cease and desists to anyone trying to sell the old Team Executor mod chips. As a result, this mod chip has completely disappeared and is almost impossible to purchase. However, as with most successful tech products, there is a Chinese clone, and the distributors and vendors and manufacturers in China are not as worried about the prying eyes of Nintendo because they're protected by China's lax view of American copyright laws. The clone is currently for sale in Chinese marketplaces and it can be bought from Europe and from America. However, the price is high. They're selling for around $130. In comparison, the old Team Executor mod chip, when it came out, was selling for $60. In addition to this, there are quality control issues with the mod chip, with some researchers reporting failure rates of as high as 50%. Users are also reporting longer boot times than with the original chip. So as you see, Nintendo may not have designed out the exploits from the V2 Switch into the OLED, but they have successfully disrupted, and in most parts of the world stopped, the distribution of mod chips. I'm guessing Nintendo knew that even if they were to patch the exploit in the V2 Switch so that it didn't exist in the OLED units, Team Executor or another one of these teams would eventually find a way around it and would eventually release circumvention devices, so they needed a new strategy. But okay, for argument's sake, let's just pretend that you could buy one of these mod chips. You could click on Amazon and you could get one to your door tomorrow. Would that be problem solved? Is that the only thing stopping you modding your OLED Switch? For 99% of people, no. The installation is complex, advanced soldering to multiple points with extremely intricate parts. The average enthusiast won't be able to remove the motherboard from the OLED Switch without breaking something, let alone perform this install themselves. So for 99% of people, they'll need to find an electronics store willing to perform the install for them. And this is where Nintendo's second part of the strategy comes in. They are issuing cease and desists not only to the manufacturers, but also to all shops offering or where evidence has been found that they have performed mod chip installation services for the Nintendo Switch. So it would be tricky for anyone wanting a modded Switch to even find somewhere to get this install performed. With the threat of Nintendo looming over these shops' back, why would they take the risk? If you were able to find a shop willing to take the risk, you're probably going to pay between $100 and $150 for the install with no warranty and no guarantee that the chip you ordered from China will even work. So to run homebrew on an OLED Switch, you're looking at $130 for the chip and probably up to $150 to get it installed. The LCD screen doesn't look too bad to me anymore. So although I was wrong in my original video in saying that this Switch OLED would not be hacked, at least not for a year or so after release, my point still stands. If you want a console to install Netflix on, to run Homebrew, to watch movies, to install Android, etc., etc., don't buy the OLED Switch. Getting it in a position to install Homebrew is extremely difficult for the average consumer, extremely expensive. The OLED is not the console for you. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you guys next time.